take two after a massive dust storm randomly hit me. So she's a 2018 Ford Transit Jumbo, or extra long wheelbase, but technically not extra long wheelbase, it's just long wheelbase, and then has this extra bit on the back, so it's just nicer for driving. You just got to be careful not to hit things with your bum when you're swinging it around. I went with a Ford Transit because they're so square, so they're like wider at the top, so that I could sleep sideways, basically. See, from behind it's square, so up there it's as wide as it can be, basically, whereas like a Sprinter kind of goes in and goes real narrow, so that's why I chose the Ford Transit. The fridge, fully loaded, and yes, there's some beer down there somewhere. Just a random slot from the build that I just stick a few bags and whatever. Some bread, just stuff down here. I've just got a load of carrier bags, stuff down there. I've got this old beer box which I actually at the moment use for collecting recycling. Just a random little fold away buffet which fits perfectly there. Nice little seat for putting my shoes on, and just an extra little seat basically if I have someone around. Made this little hatch. So because the van is super stealth, there's no windows in the side, this just gives me a little bit of natural light. I normally move that, and as everything is still kind of a work in progress, I need to make this proper curtains. If that's closed, there's a good chunk of natural light coming in through there. So yeah, this is obviously my little entrance hall. I can take a little seat there, do my shoes up, which leads us to the kitchen, which is pretty epic, let's face it. I have a nice sink and a nice tap, but I'm still yet to do the plumbing and get a water tank and stuff, so it's all in and ready, just not usable yet. But yeah, nice marble effect kitchen worktop. Didn't want to go obviously with marble in case it cracks and it'll be very heavy, so I just went with normal laminated sort of kitchen worktop. It turned out to be actually bigger than a standard house kitchen worktop. Normally 60 to 65 centimeters is the depth of a kitchen worktop, and mine was 72 centimeters, so I had to get a breakfast bar and cut it down. But luckily the bits that I cut down I had left over to make the upstand out of, so I just cut those bits down, stuck them all in, and siliconed around everything just to make it all look, it's not perfect obviously like where these bits join, but I'm quite happy with it, to be honest, now that the white silicone's all in the gaps. Kind of a little food cupboard, sort of pantry. I won't go through my food and stuff, we'll do that in another video when I'm cooking something. Obviously underneath the sink is the fridge, as you've seen. I can access that from outside and obviously from in here as well. So that's one of the reasons why I put the slidey fridge here, the top loading fridge, because I just feel like it's better for space saving. Like I can just pile everything in and use all the space rather than having shelves where you put a few things in and probably not have enough room in a tiny little fridge like that. Oh, actually, yeah, that's what I meant to say. Between here and the sink, so underneath here, I'm gonna make another compartment of some sort above the fridge, but obviously I like to do that and lift the fridge to there, so I'll figure out what space is available to make some sort of a drawer to pull out of there. These two cupboards just sort of happened because of where there was stud work on the wall to connect things to, so I just made my frame for my kitchen around where the stud work was without really thinking about measuring anything. So this cupboard obviously ended up pretty small and this one's pretty big. It annoys me that I didn't measure anything, and that cupboard door pretty much opens all the way but not quite. And so getting my Ninja oven out just about works. But yeah, you always miss a few little things, don't you? So yeah, that's still some sort of building stuff and tools from where I'm still kind of converting the van. At the moment in there's just a few tubs with stuff in, so I can utilize more space in there, either put another shelf in or work out some sort of system, yeah, for sliding more boxes in. Like, I don't really like the idea of having proper drawers and everything that can slide around all over the place. So at the moment I've just got like things like that I just use as a drawer really, and I can just take it out easily and put it on the side if I need to. Crikey, it's getting hot in here. It's hot today. It's like 21 degrees or something today. I mean, it's 21 degrees in here, but to be honest, having that hatch open is not ideal because, as everybody knows, cars and vans and that are sweltering from the heat. But I've got this all insulated, so if that's closed, it's nicer. As soon as I opened this hatch, I could just feel so much heat coming in from in the cab. So I might close that, open the door, to be fair, get some air in here. So, as I said, I wanted to sleep sideways, which is why I did these cutouts. I've got dodo mat insulation in there, an inch thick, and I just thought there's no point in boarding over the front of that and just putting loads of wool in there when I've got an inch of dodo mat, like legit dodo mat, like so that stuff's really good basically. Like it's thin, but it's the best like R rating for insulation, so it's like it's enough. It's just overkill just to board over there and lose all that space. Like, think about how much width I would have lost if I just boarded straight across, straight down from there to there. So the same in the bedroom. I have like a little area for my head. Bit of a nightmare. I do sort of hit my head on the edge of there sometimes, but I'm kind of used to avoiding it now, so yeah, it doesn't really happen. But yeah, the bed design was built around my mountain bike in there. So the garage area actually comes to here. So my bike is underneath, the back of my bike is underneath here. And I built it out level with this. Realised I didn't want a humongous double bed that was bigger than a normal double bed. I wanted a small bed in here because obviously I'm living in a tiny home. So I cut this little section out in the middle. So that, yeah, I could have a smaller bed, but the garage can still come to here because my bike goes underneath. So my mattress, custom made mattress, is 1 meter wide and it's 190 long or something. I fit basically, I'm 6'1" and I fit just, I can lie on my back, my feet flat up against there, my head kind of touching, but yeah, I can lie perfectly level across. So this is actually a dummy, as I was explaining, pardon me. That's part of the garage basically, because it came to here. The bike's on that side, so I didn't need any access to anywhere, but I knew this was going to just be kind of dead space. And that's one of my battery systems down there, my Blue Yeti. So I just put this cupboard in because it's not one that I use regularly like this one, which is clothes cupboard. I just, yeah, made this kind of a dummy. Then we have my living room. The only decor that I've put in so far. Random, but eventually I will have some cabinets here and across there as well. But I've just got to the point of the build where I spent all of last year making this, and I just want to spend a bit of time living, not thinking about having to work on the van all the time. It's like, right, it's to a point now where it's livable. Like I said, I don't have running water, but I am able to cook in here and stuff, so I'm just like, just want to enjoy it for a little bit, and yeah, probably just enjoy it for the summer and then finish building all the other bits and bobs after summer when it goes into winter, when it's not as nice weather, although could utilize the longer days to get some work done. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Just having a break from all the building and stuff, just trying to enjoy it a little bit and sort of get back to life and work and making money rather than spending loads of money on the van and going into debt. So now I've got to rip apart my nice seating area to show you underneath. I still need to utilise this storage compartment, build some sort of containers that can go in and out, or yeah, work out what I'm going to put in there. But that's my Bluetti, which powers my fridge and is charged from my solar panels. I do have a video about the whole electrical system, so I won't go too much into it, but yeah, go and check that one out if you're interested in the whole leisure battery and solar panel side of things. And this one is a complete leisure battery setup, which is all connected to the alternator. So whenever I drive, whenever the engine's running, this massive 300 amp hour battery is getting charged, and then that powers all my lights, heater, fan, everything, 12 volt. And I also have an inverter, which means that I can plug 240 volt things in, or just use it to charge up my other battery, because I use my other battery for cooking my food. It's a bit of a complicated setup. I have one battery which is like an all-in-one power station charged by solar panels that powers my fridge, and I use it to plug my little Ninja oven into. The other one gets charged from the alternator. This 300 amp hour leisure battery gets charged from the alternator and powers all the 12 volt stuff, all the lights, like I just said, the lights, the fan, my heater, and more often than not at the moment the Bluetti power station is charged ready enough for me to do cooking from the sun, and that just stays charged from me driving and yeah, running the engine, and that sort of always just stays topped up. Obviously different times of the year are going to vary, because like when I go back into winter, I'm not going to get as much from the solar panels, which means I'll be using that one more to potentially charge the other one so that I can cook. But yeah, long story. I forgot to mention that hatch at the back, which I put in so that I did have access through into the van when I opened the back doors if I ever needed to, but also didn't want it to just be left open, so that if I've got the back doors open and I'm, you know, getting my bike out and going mountain biking and stuff, I didn't want my bed to just be there to the elements, so dust and that can go on it. So yeah, that closes it off, shuts it all off. But I am going to put windows in these back doors here, and then carpet over the metal, make that look a bit nicer, which will give me a little sort of bedside window as well. But I just feel like having windows in the back doors doesn't make it look like a camper van. It'll still just look like a work van. It'll just look inconspicuous and stealth, whereas having the windows in the sides is the the thing that really gives it away as a camper van that I didn't want. So I'll have light coming through that hatch and light coming through that hatch. But to be honest, I'm not going to be in here in the daytime. Like today now, I'm in here because I'm filming a video. Look at that outside. I want to be out there. I want to be out there skating or riding my bike or walking up the hill and chilling out. So it's rare that I'm going to just be inside of the van if it's nice and sunny outside anyway. So I'm not really that bothered about having windows. And then you just need those windows to be blacked out anyway. And then you need loads of like sort of insulation and thermal insulation, because glass is a nightmare for letting the cold in and the heat out. So it just seems counterproductive to even have the windows at this point. If I want to see outside, I'll open the door and get outside. Can we see it? In there somewhere anyway, where that ducting is coming from. The bit on the left there is just an offcut. It's just chucked in there. But this ducting comes from a Propex heater that I've got. It comes here, it comes out there, and then it goes all the way down underneath. It comes out there, and one there in my toilet room, which is my toilet room and wardrobe. Cozy, but it works absolutely fine. The reason I don't have a ducting on here is because I need to either find one that really angles this way or make some sort of triangular box of wood so that I can have it facing in that angle. I just don't want all of the heat sort of collecting around here. When I just had it all just coming straight out, it just, to be honest, it started making this door warp. It was just too much heat here, and I want the heat to sort of come this way. So yeah, that looks very unfinished, but again, a work in progress. Feel like anybody who lives in a camper van or has a camper van or is converting one are all aware that it takes ages, and then even when you think you've finished, you just probably never finish, because there's always going to be bits that you still finishing, or little bits that you're tinkering with, or little bits that you add on. So yeah, it's been over a year that I've been living in this and converting it at the same time. Who knows when it'll actually be like that's finished, like completed. I will be putting plug sockets here somewhere, but again, work in progress. Up on the roof, I've got the Max air fan, and I've got two 200 watt Renogy solar panels. So I've got 400 watts of solar up there whilst I'm parked in the shade. Brilliant. It's a camping chair. This is 13 kilogram propane bottle, which runs the heater, which is down there. And yeah, this is what it was all built around, my mountain bike. So the height of the bed had to be exactly what it needed to be to fit that under, which worked out perfectly in the end. Like I said, just about enough headroom in my bed. This is a temporary, just a piece of wood just planked here with that attached to it, because I didn't want to attach that to the floor of the van yet until I knew exactly where it was going to go. So I might want to move that over a bit so that I can put two in there. So that's what I need to figure out, but I just made it so that I can use it, and obviously just a couple of boxes of storage So I need to get my new bike because I'm getting an e-bike, and then I'll have that and my e-bike next to each other, and then I can work out what space I've got in the middle, and yeah, make this some sort of proper storage area, I guess. I just have like a big cupboard that runs right down the center part of it that I can access from this side and also access from the other side. I know it's all grey food. I'm going to make a chicken baguette with some lettuce, and I know lettuce doesn't really count for a lot, but I've had an apple and some cheese for my starter. They're done. How long did I put it in for? 18 minutes? Yeah, they're done. Chicken, I'll leave them for a bit longer. Oh, this is a test. It's like 21 degrees today. It's like the hottest day we've had this year. And it's now 24 degrees in here because obviously I'm cooking. I think the next couple of days is going to be like 24 degrees. That'll be a good test if I'm in the sweltering sun cooking in here. See how hot it gets. I need to get a fan. Well, I've got that fan for like extracting, but I need to get like a fan to blow air. Don't want loads of bugs coming in though. So I use this Ninja air fryer for about 25 minutes at about 200 degrees, and I've used 38% of my Bluetti power station, which is 1440 watt hours. So someone did comment asking about the power consumption, power usage. So yeah, if you were wondering about how much it uses, then that's one figure for you. I think that's absolutely fine. Like, at the end of the day, there's two things that use a lot of electricity. That's cooking and heating. I use gas for my heating. It obviously uses a little bit of electricity as well, but only like 30 watts just to power the fan, but it's generally a gas heater. Obviously this is using like 1800 watts, but that, it is what it is. Like, that's the reason why I've got all this power in the van. I've got 1440 watt hours in my Bluetti, I've got a Renogy leisure battery setup, which I've done a whole video on, which is a 300 amp hour, which is equivalent to 3,800 watt hours. So I've got quite a lot of power in here. And so if I've only used 38% of 1,400 watt hours, then I've literally used about 1/16 of all the power that I've got. And so by tomorrow, by the time the sun's given me some energy through solar and I've driven the van and that's given me some more power into the alternator, into the leisure battery from the alternator, I'll have all that power back. So at the moment, I think it's perfectly sustainable for me to use that in here. Yes, this bat keeps flying around me. Whoa, that's where it landed. Whoa. That thing is sick. Love bats. Yes, mate. Right, one more lap and then we're going. Where are you, mate? There he is. Whoa. Where's he gone? There's a couple. I built this room with the intention of it potentially being like a shower and toilet. Because obviously the porta potty is just waterproof, so it could just be sat inside of the shower. And much like a caravan shower, you would have your clothes hanging in there on a hanging rail that you just lift out if you're going to get in and use the shower. But it will be the absolute last thing I do if I do put a proper shower in there, which I'm not too sure if I can be bothered. But in the meantime, what I am going to do is get some, like an offcut of some vinyl for the floor and cut it so it goes up the walls a bit, and silicone and waterproof paint the whole room, like fully seal everything off, and potentially put a drain in the floor and make it like a wet room so that I can literally go in there and take a bowl of warm water in and have a little bucket wash, but be able to like really splash around and like clean myself. Not daily, like I'll use a gym to go shower, or a relative or a friend to go shower, like. But if I'm, you know, if I'm away mountain biking, camping, and I need to have a wash, then I've got like a wet room to do that. And then, yeah, decide whether I can be bothered with the hassle and the risk of turning it into a full shower, or if I can make do somehow out of having this little wet room to, yeah, like, at the end of the day, if I have a shower in here, it's not going to be like a proper shower that you have at home anyway. It's going to be like 5 minutes worth of warm water at a real low pressure. So I feel like if I can just find another way of going in there and being able to wash myself, like have a little mini bath, then it'll be just as good. I just realised I'd forgotten about something. Completely forgot about this. Another little storage.